Tonight, MPs face even more scrutiny as new allegations come to light, and we offer a first-hand look at the now officially open Karapatina Mine.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. South Australia's parliamentary expenses scandal has deepened, with an audit of parliamentary records finding a handful of past and present MPs seemingly double-dipping with travel claims. Member for Flinders Peter Treloar is being accused of charging taxpayers for being in Adelaide while on trips elsewhere. Labor says if that's true, he needs to resign.
His conduct under the spotlight as the expenses saga continues. Member for Flinders Peter Treloar is accused of receiving taxpayer dollars while staying in 2 places at once.
I have to say this is very concerning because there is a pattern here emerging out of the Liberal Party.
Annual travel reports from 2012 and 2013 show Mr Treloar charged taxpayers for staying in Adelaide while also billing for a visit in Whyalla and McLaren Vale. Mr Treloar refused to comment on the allegations. He's just one of several MPs allegedly double-dipping into the taxpayer's purse.
I think everyone would expect all members of Parliament to obey the rules and to claim appropriately, because the country members' allowance is an important tool so that regional communities can be represented here in Adelaide.
The member previously admitted there were errors with his claims over the past decade.
I think Mr Treloar, who didn't respond to questions put to him yesterday, needs to explain to his community exactly what these discrepancies are.
Former member for Giles, Lynn Brewer, also caught up, with the reports also showing she took both payments for being in Adelaide and Canberra on the same night in 2010. In a statement, Ms Brewer says, "I have never intentionally claimed any times falsely, and I've never been dishonest in any of my roles in life. I cannot understand how I made these errors." Labor fanning the flames, saying the book should be thrown at anyone caught doing the wrong thing.
If you don't cooperate with this investigation by the Independent Commission Against Corruption, you're out of the Liberal Party immediately.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
In an historic moment for South Australia's mining industry, the Karapatina Mine north of Port Augusta has today officially been opened. The mine aims to increase copper production in the state significantly and says it's on the up and up, hitting major milestones.
It's the day Oz Minerals has been planning for years, the cutting of the ribbon at the Karapatina Mine.
Sensational feeling. Today is quite a unique moment to officially open a mine that's been in construction for the last 2.5 years. To be part of the team that have built the mine and be here to commission it is an amazing sensation.
The official opening tugging on the heartstrings of Oz Minerals CEO. A huge amount of work going in to this moment. This mine, estimated to be worth $3 billion as Australia's 3rd largest copper gold mine.
Oh, a bit emotional almost. Yeah, it's actually really good because, you see all these people up here that were watching all of this. These guys have spent, countless hours actually building it and getting to this point. So, yeah, it's very good.
The mine hit a major milestone last year, selling a large amount of what it had produced. Oz Minerals says it has plans to expand production so the site can run at full capacity by the end of the year.
We're already working on the next step, which is to get it up to 4.7 to 5 million tonnes in 2 years' time, and then we're already working on the step after that takes it to 12 million tonnes per year.
It's taken 5 years from its conception to production at the site 160 kilometres north of Port Augusta.
We've gone from thinking we think we can do it, and now we think we know we can do it. So it's an amazing phase or part of the operational ramp-up. We're really confident about the future.
The Premier optimistic about the opportunities that may follow in the future for generations to come.
The good news is that deposits that we have here at Karapatina and Prominent Hill are both fantastic deposits, and there are decades and decades of work for local people.
The mine site employing a large number of locals, it's expected it will be used for at least the next 2 decades.
I think our employment stats are around about 87% of people that we employ here are from the Upper Spencer Gulf and South Australia, which is quite fantastic.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Lincoln City Council has taken its first step in creating a reconciliation action plan with the Indigenous community. Local Barngala members say the project will help further develop relationships between its members and council.
extending an olive branch with the traditional landowners to help strengthen relationships.
The representatives of Bungala and the representatives of the other Aboriginal people have been really positive and recognising that this is a journey that we go on, and it's what we've done now is one step.
Port Lincoln Council working alongside the Indigenous community to create the city's first reconciliation action plan.
Yeah, happy for it to really come to fruition anyways.
A rough plan has been developed and will be sent off to Reconciliation Australia for its endorsement. The plan is the latest move by Council to help strengthen relationships with Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians.
We've just recently already adopted an acknowledgement of country, so that the council meetings always now include an acknowledgement of country.
Building up them partnerships, and hopefully everything gets a bit more flowing.
It's hoped the plan will be launched at this year's NAIDOC Week, set to be held in November.
It gives us a whole lot of things to work on, and what we're really hoping is that the Bungala people and the Aboriginal community will continue to work with that with us.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, rock lobster fishing opening earlier this year and a change in the fishing season. And students travel from far and wide to enjoy a pretty special experience. Welcome back. Fishers will be hitting the Spencer Gulf's pristine coastlines for the next week, catching stocks for Father's Day. Following a challenging season for the industry, people are being encouraged to buy up and purchase some seafood.
The sun is shining and boaties are flocking to the coast to see what's biting.
But yeah, mainly snook and tommies, and still a few silver whiting here and there, but not in abundance like we've seen in the last couple of months. And yeah, it's just a change in between seasons.
This local seafood shop is expecting an influx of customers, with Father's Day one of the busiest times of year.
Where the mums will stay home and cook for their husbands, whereas normally on Mother's Day everyone tends to go out to your restaurants and that because the husbands won't cook. So it's normally a busier time for us in store.
The Northern Zone's rock lobster ban was lifted this year. The move a bid to give the industry much needed financial relief, with exports affected by COVID-19 restrictions.
Rock lobsters into the market a bit early to cope with issues around the COVID-19 outbreak.
Greater earlier, which will hopefully bring the price down and hopefully make it more affordable come Christmas when everyone's wanting them.
Despite restrictions rocking the boat, experts say with restaurants back open, the seafood industry is full steam ahead for summer.
For the industry, obviously with the restaurants and everything coming to a halt, but obviously they're back on track now and hopefully we're on the other side of things now.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police are renewing calls for the public's help in locating 62-year-old Peter Turner, who was reported missing last Wednesday. Mr. Turner is 180 centimetres tall and weighs around 75 kilos. He also has red-grey hair and a beard.
He was actually last seen near Westland Shopping Centre at about 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 4th of August. So given the period of time that he has been missing, we are very concerned for his welfare.
CCTV shows he was last seen wearing a black jacket, grey pants, a cap and carrying a bright orange shopping bag. Anybody who sees him in the Whyalla area is asked to contact police. A man's body has been recovered after a suspected drowning in Arno Bay this morning. The alarm was raised just before 6:30 after the body was pulled from the water by his friend. It's understood the 40-year-old man from New South Wales drowned while swimming at the beach. Police say the incident isn't suspicious and a report will be prepared for the coroner. Students from the School of the Air have taken part in a rare opportunity travelling to Whyalla for its annual Experience Week. The school, which operates solely through online classes, organised fun outdoor activities to allow the students to interact with their peers in person.
A fun day out in the sun with their school friends. It's not something these students get to do very often. But this week, they've all travelled from different parts of rural South Australia to be together, diving into a range of learning activities.
When the kids come down for School Experience Week, we like to come to the Road Safety Centre and just let the kids have fun.
I'm having lots and lots of fun today.
A normal school day for these children who live in outback stations is attending class online.
The children will live The closest, I think, is about 2 hours away, but they can live up to 9 hours away.
It's an easy way for them to learn when most schools are thousands of kilometres away from home.
We even have a family just over the Queensland border. So they've driven a very long way to get here.
This road safety experience, a chance to teach the children the rules of the road for when they travel to city centres like Port Augusta and even Adelaide.
One of the parents said that their child didn't even stop before walking across the road.
Because they're from outback stations, they don't get to see towns very often, especially traffic lights, stops lines, giveaway signs. So, yeah, it is a tremendous learning curve.
Whyalla police officers joining in on the fun as part of an ongoing road safety initiative, also helping to create healthy relationships between children and authority.
It's really good for SAPOL to interact with children and enforce an understanding of what we believe the road safety initiatives should be.
A fun way to soak up crucial road safety knowledge.
To stop when you're like a train coming and stuff. Stop, look and listen.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. The number of speeding fines issued on the Horrocks Highway revealed, and the Ladies Golf Club hosts an annual competition with some pretty fierce competitors. Hello again. This weekend, a large number of visitors are expected to flock to the Yorke Peninsula to catch some sun. Motorists are being reminded to stick to the speed limit, with police vowing they'll be out in full force.
A busy weekend predicted for the region's highways. Police warning motorists to not let a speeding fine ruin their fun.
Increases your risk of being involved in a serious crash, even by as little as 5 kilometres over the speed limit. So our message has always been, don't speed.
New REA figures reveal 848 speeding camera fines have been issued to drivers on the Horrocks Highway in the past year.
These rural highways which carry a lot of traffic and a lot of mixed type of traffic as well in terms of heavy vehicles too.
Obviously the faster you go, the bigger the fine. Your cheapest speeding fine is around the $260 mark.
Authorities say there are ways for motorists to make sure they don't speed as they travel to the coast this weekend.
Vehicles now have cruise controls fitted. I'm a big believer in cruise controls in the right conditions. They're not fail-safe or foolproof.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Today marks Cancer Council's Daffodil Day, an event raising funds for vital cancer research. Up to 150,000 Australians are diagnosed with cancer each year. Florists such as Kadeena's Country Living Homewares supported the cause today by selling daffodils. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, regional residents are encouraged to also donate funds through the Cancer Council's website. A 90-year-old Whyalla local has had a special day competing in this year's Ladies Golf Open. Women from across the region travelling down to the Still City for the tournament, taking a swing at first place.
Golfing for more than 50 years, it's a passion that keeps 90-year-old Heather coming back to the golf course.
It's the company and the friendship.
Winning runner-up in her division, Heather was surprised to receive a momentous award.
Yes, I was.
To be 90 and still playing, that's fantastic.
And she wasn't the only one taking a swing at first place. Women from all over the region travelling to Whyalla for this yearly event.
We had the Ladies Whyalla Open and we had visitors from out of town, which was really great. And we had a beautiful day for the weather.
Sunny weather that Colleen says made the trip down from Port Augusta worth it.
Traditionally, Port Augusta and Whyalla have always supported each other because we're quite close together, and also that we both have greens.
The greens and the course was just presented beautifully by our workmen.
Playing for 33 years, Whyalla local Val was the A-grade winner for the day. She says it was great to see visitors from neighbouring cities join in on the fun.
About 4 hours for the round because we did 18 holes today and we played in grades A, B and C.
It's so nice to be able to come and play and support these country clubs, because a lot of the smaller clubs are suffering.
Colleen was the winner for the B grade division, with multiple awards presented during an afternoon tea. The club hall overlooking the pristine grounds.
Whyalla course is in perfect condition, absolutely beautiful.
And they're always looking for more members. The Whyalla Golf Club encouraging other locals to join.
They can ring up the club here. We do have some training for people who want to learn how to play.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll have this week's footy tips and the weather with Britt. Welcome back. Now let's hear from the experts with this week's footy tips.
Hello and welcome to round 9 of SGL football. This round starts with Port taking on West here at Port Pirie's Memorial Oval. Port had a good win over Central last week, and a win in this one will see them stay up a final spot. I'm tipping Port. Up in Port Augusta, it's South taking on Central. South were awesome last week with a big win over the Lions, whereas Central were disappointing going down to Port. Central will be looking to bounce back this week, but are going to find it tough against a really slick South outfit. I'm tipping South.
Just 2 rounds to go in Whyalla football, and South Whyalla are still in a big shot of making the top 4, but that information will probably come next week. So first up at Bennett Oval, it's North Whyalla versus Rapina. North got within a goal of beating West Whyalla last week, but I think Rapina's going to be too strong on Saturday. Other game on Saturday at Memorial Oval, it's West Whyalla versus Marina Bay. This is top versus bottom. It should be a comfortable win to the Dragons. And finally on Sunday, it's Central Whyalla versus South Whyalla. As I said, South had a great win last week. They keep their finals chances alive, but I think the Roosters are still going to be too strong.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips. We kick things off at Ravendale Oval, where Tasmans are hosting Bostons. Tasmans were undefeated until last weekend, and then it come out with a bang. You almost feel sorry for Bostons, but this is going to be a one-sided affair. I'm tipping Tasmans, and Tasmans by a lot. In the next game, we got Waybacks hosting Marble Range at Centenary Oval. Yes, Waybacks are the team that knocked off the undefeated Tasmans. Yet, Marble Range are also coming off a win. Last time these two teams met, it was a close game, with Waybacks winning by 4 points. I think it's going to be another close game, and I'm tipping the same result. Waybacks to win by less than a goal.
And for a look at what's happening in the weather for your weekend, here's Britt Aylan.
Thanks, Louise, and good evening. We saw above average maximums today, with Port Augusta and Woodner both recording tops of 25 degrees. Kadina reached 23. 22 degrees was the high at Port Pirie. It reached 19 at Broken Hill, as well as Clare and Coffin Bay. Whyalla reached 18 degrees, Port Lincoln 17. Taking a look at today's satellite images, we can see mostly clear and sunny skies with stable, dry winds. Moving on to your Saturday, variable winds about the Gulf waters at around 10 knots, seas below 1 metre, swells south to southwesterly up to 1.5 metres. Strong winds are expected across the region tomorrow, otherwise sunny at Port Lincoln with a top of 22 degrees. Raised dust expected at Cleve 25, Woodner dusty and 28. Sunny at Whyalla tomorrow, a high of 25. Port Augusta sunny and 27. Becoming windy at Kadina, a top of 23 degrees. Port Pirie sunny tomorrow with a top of 25. Clare sunny and 22. Broken Hill sunny and 24 degrees. To Sunday now, showers about the Lower Eyre Peninsula, Mid-North and York Peninsula forecast districts, as well as over Adelaide. Fine and partly cloudy about the remainder of the region. A top of 24 for Broken Hill, but cooler elsewhere. Port Augusta 19, Woodner and Port Pirie 17, Port Lincoln 15. And before I go, a quick look into next week. Partly cloudy conditions across the board on Monday, maximums in the mid-teens. Similar conditions on Tuesday, but warming up into the early to mid-20s. And that's the weekend weather, Louise. Back to you.
Lovely, thanks for that, Britt. And that wraps up your local news for this week. We thank you, as always, for joining us. We'll have updates later. Until then, have a lovely evening. Good night.